Imagine waking up 10,000 years ago, no mirror, no bathroom, no steel razor sitting on the sink. And yet, the man standing next to you at the river has a smooth face, smooth arms, no stubble anywhere. How? He didn't have a single blade, not one piece of metal. So how on earth did ancient humans get rid of hair they didn't want? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to look at your own razor completely differently. And trust me, the last method I'm about to show you is so wild, so painful, you'll never complain about shaving again. Stay till the end because the final part will completely change how you think about ancient humans. Let's go back, way back, before razors, before scissors, before even the idea of smooth skin existed the way we think of it today. And here's the shocking part. Scientists believe humans were already removing hair almost 100,000 years ago, not for beauty, for survival. Picture this. You live in a freezing world, no heaters, no jackets from a store. Just fur, fire, and whatever your hands can make. Now imagine you have a thick, wet beard after eating or drinking. In brutal cold, that wet beard can actually freeze. Real frostbite right on your face. So early humans figured something out fast. Less hair on the face meant less chance of ice forming on their skin. Hair removal wasn't about looking pretty. It was about staying alive. But here's where it gets even stranger. There was a second reason, and it's kind of gross. Thick hair on the body was the perfect hiding spot for lice, fleas, and tiny biting bugs. In a world with no soap, no showers, no medicine, an infestation like that could genuinely make you sick. So keeping hair short, or removing it completely, was basically ancient hygiene. A survival trick disguised as a beauty routine. Now you're probably wondering, okay, but how? What did they actually use if there were no razors? Here's where it gets wild. The very first razor humans ever used wasn't metal. It was a seashell. 2 clamshells, pressed together like a pair of tweezers. Early humans would grip a few strands of hair between the shells and just pull. Imagine doing that to your entire face, strand by strand. No numbing cream, no mercy, just you, a shell, and a whole lot of patience or pain tolerance. And it wasn't just for the face. Archaeologists have found evidence that this same shell-plucking method was used all over the body, including the underarms. Slow, repetitive, excruciating. But it worked. Then around 5,000 years ago, someone had a genius idea. Instead of pulling hair out one by one, what if you could scrape it off instead? That's when the very first razor made of stone showed up. People took a piece of flint, a natural rock that can be chipped into a razor-sharp edge, and scraped it across their skin like a blade. Cave art from this era even shows men without beards, which tells us this wasn't rare. It was a real working method, thousands of years before steel ever existed. Now here's a question for you. If you had to choose between plucking every single hair out with a shell, or scraping your skin with a sharpened rock, which one would you pick? Drop your answer in the comments below. I really want to know. Let's keep going because the story gets even more advanced from here. Fast forward to ancient Egypt, and hair removal wasn't just survival anymore. It became a full-blown obsession. In Egyptian society, being hairless meant something. It meant you were clean. It meant you were civilized. It meant you had status. The wealthy, the priests, even royalty like Cleopatra, were said to remove hair from almost their entire body, everywhere except the eyebrows. But get this, if you were a man with a scruffy, unshaved beard back then, people didn't think you looked tough or rugged. They assumed you were poor or a servant. Being hairy was basically a walking sign that said, I can't afford to be smooth. Wild how the opposite is often true today, right? So how did the Egyptians actually get that smooth look? They didn't have razors like ours, But they got creative. They used pumice stones, rough volcanic rock, to physically buff and scrub hair away. They used seashell tweezers, just like their ancestors, but refined. And here's the part that will blow your mind. They invented sugaring. Yes, sugaring. A sticky paste made from sugar, water, and lemon juice, spread onto the skin and then ripped off, pulling hair out from the root. Sound familiar? That exact method is still used in salons today, thousands of years later. Some Egyptians also made a wax using beeswax mixed with resins, applied warm, then peeled off once it hardened. That means the wax strip you might get at a salon today is basically a direct descendant of an ancient Egyptian beauty secret, and it doesn't stop there. Egyptian medical writings even describe homemade hair removal creams, mixtures boiled from animal fat and other natural ingredients, spread onto the skin to loosen hair so it could be wiped away. It sounds strange to us now, but for them this was cutting-edge science. This was their version of a drugstore hair removal cream, made completely from scratch, with zero modern chemistry. Now here's your second question of the video. Out of everything you've heard so far, shell tweezers, sharpened stone razors, sugar paste, wax, or homemade creams, which one do you think you would have survived using the least? Be honest. Comment your answer below. I want to see which one scares people the most. But we're not done yet because there's one more method, and it might be the cleverest of them all. Somewhere in the Middle East, and also in parts of India, ancient women developed a technique using nothing but a single piece of thread. That's it. Just cotton thread, twisted and looped, then rolled across the skin to trap individual hairs and yank them straight out from the root. No blade, no wax, no chemicals, just pure skill and steady hands. This method is called threading, and here's the mind-blowing part. It's still used today in salons all over the world, almost exactly the same way it was done thousands of years ago. Out of every method on this list, this one survived the longest, completely unchanged. So let's step back for a second and really think about what all of this means. For almost 100,000 years, humans have been trying to control their own hair, first to survive the cold, then to avoid disease, then to fit in, to show status, to feel clean, to feel confident. Different tools, different centuries, same basic human need. The desire to shape how we look, even when we had almost nothing to work with. Think about that the next time you grab a disposable razor without even thinking about it. You're holding the end result of nearly 100,000 years of trial, error, and honestly, a whole lot of pain. Someone, long before recorded history, sat by a fire, gripped a broken seashell, and decided that discomfort was worth it just to feel a little more in control of their own body.